Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to Your Calendars franchise mode here in NHL 25. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we took on the Columbus Blue Jackets in the second round of the playoffs, and we managed to actually have quite an easy time against them. After the first round was a little bit inconsistent, this second round was probably one of the most dominant series I've ever had. We won game 1 9-2. Then we decided to pick up two shutouts in a row, 4-0 and 6-0. Then we lost game 4, so at that point I wasn't too sure if maybe they were going to start to reverse sweep us, but then we responded with a 4-1 victory. So basically in the last 4 games, we've only allowed a total of 4 goals against, and then in game 1 we only allowed 2 goals, and we've been scoring a ton of goals as well. So our offense, defense, goaltending, everything has been improving quite drastically, because we did have some pretty bad plus minuses after the first round that I was a little bit worried about, but it all corrected itself out quite well in that second round. So a roster on paper looking a lot stronger now. Now, the only thing that's a little bit worrisome is we did suffer an injury, which I'll talk to you guys about that in a little bit, which so you guys already seen in last episode if you watched it. But you can see like the plus minus on this team definitely a lot better than it was after the first round, because the first round we had the guys like Holmstrom, who's now an even 0. He was a -7 in the first round. Second round, he was really good. So everybody's starting to contribute a little bit more so on this team, which is great to see. Like I said, everybody has good production, and the goaltending from Solovyov has been very good, a .931 save percentage now through 10 games. So hopefully he continues on that pace, and hopefully he has a good conference finals so he can get us into another Stanley Cup finals, and maybe we could find a way to get our first Stanley Cup that way because of that. So there's that. Now, the injury that is going to set us back a little bit is the injury to Bjorkstrand. Now, Bjorkstrand decided to go down with a hip pointer late into that series, which is unfortunate. Now, the good thing is he would be back for Stanley Cup Finals likely. He's supposed to be back, I think, June the 2nd, so it's probably late into the Stanley Cup Finals if we do get there. But yeah, he's basically out right now for a while. He wasn't really doing the most craziest stuff in the playoffs in the first round, but in the second round, he started to come alive a bit, so it's kind of unfortunate timing for him because he did have 2 goals and 2 assists against the Blue Jackets, but hopefully he can find ways to win without him. Our new look lines without him in the lineup look still pretty good because we decided that we would move Giordano back to center. We moved Ragnarsson over to the right side, and Riley Haley, who had actually a pretty decent season for his overall, decided to jump into the lineup. I decided to move him into the top 6. Now, if for some reason Haley's not doing a lot still in that top 6, the next adjustment I probably would make would be moving Nielikainen into the top 6 or Leahy into the top 6. So those could be other options, but I do want to give a chance to Haley because he was good in the regular season, 26 points in 55 games. So far in the playoffs, down in the bottom 6, he hasn't done much, so hoping that maybe in more of a top 6 offensive role, he could do some more offense for our team. But like I said, if for some reason he's not working out well, we could easily move Giordano back to the right side, Ragnarsson back to the left side, Leahy into that second line center spot, or we could easily move Nielikainen and move Ragnarsson over to that left-hand side instead. So that could be an option. But the one thing I don't want to do that for is just because this third line has been incredible so far, so I don't really want to split them up. But if it comes to that, we might have to do that just to get the offense going through our lineup a little bit more so again. But hopefully all these lines do well again in this episode, and hopefully we can find ourselves into a Stanley Cup Finals, because that would be awesome, at least to give ourselves a chance at another Stanley Cup, because obviously we've never won one before, and we've been to the finals multiple times, but we just can't find ways to win right now. So I would really like to see if we could get ourselves a cup at least this year, and then hopefully for the rest of this franchise mode, we still try and contend and get another Stanley Cup, but obviously it might be a bit tougher, who knows. But this could be the beginning of the, so to speak, the all the cup wins that we get and stuff, because maybe this team is just all of a sudden going to turn a page. We do have a lot of good prospects coming too, so this could be the start of something great if this team's able to do it. Also, you can see our special teams have been actually getting a little bit better as well. As you can see, both our power play and penalty kill are both 8th in the NHL, and then we're top 2 in goals for per game, and we're 4th in goals against. So a lot of good stats, but we are going to be taking on the Ottawa Senators in this conference finals. Now, what's kind of interesting that I didn't realize, and I don't know if you guys realized either, the last 3 years we've made it to the conference finals. We've played Canadian teams in each of those years. Last year we played the Montreal Canadiens in conference finals and lost. The year before that we played the Toronto Maple Leafs in the conference finals and lost. So I think did we win? Maybe, I don't know. Actually, I got to take it back and look and see if we actually lost that series. I think we did though. Yeah, we did lose. So we've lost back-to-back years in the conference finals, and they were both the Canadian teams. Now we go up against Ottawa in the conference finals, so a third Canadian team is 3 times good luck for this team. And maybe this is finally the Canadian team we could actually beat to get ourselves to a Stanley Cup Finals. But let me show you guys what Ottawa's looking like. Now, they're an interesting team because they aren't super strong on paper, but they do simulate decently. So I am a little bit worried about it, but I'm not too sure if our team is going to have a little bit of a setback after last round or not. But you can see their top guy is Darren Bates. Aside from that, they do have solid players, but they really don't have that superstar level player that some of the other teams we've faced have had. So one guy that used to play with us, Nikolai Kaminsky, he's been pretty good so far for them, so we got to watch out for him a little bit. And then from a defensive standpoint, they do have a pretty solid defensive core, though. That's one thing that's definitely different than other teams we've seen, is they actually have a lot of top 4 defensemen, even on their top 6 pairings. So if we could find a way to beat this defensive core, that'd be nice. Former draft pick of ours, Timo Salo, is there as well. He was drafted super high up, and if you guys didn't watch the last episode, basically he was the one that we traded to get Mäkinen from the St. Louis Blues, so I think that trade worked out well for us, obviously. And then from a goaltending perspective, their goaltending, they have 2 goalies that both could play. Wallsted's been playing majority of the starts for them, but he's been very good, and then Sergei Jas has also been pretty solid as a backup option, so I do not really know what to expect from this round. I think we obviously have the better roster on paper, but the game might have other plans. So hopefully they don't decide to get us cheesed here in the conference finals for the 3rd consecutive year, because if that happens, that is not ideal. But anyways, with that said, let's get in your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll get finally into this matchup and see if we could win 4 games before they do. So the first and only comment is from Samaritaku, who says, have a feeling you're going to get goalied in the next round. So he thinks we're going to get goalied by Wallstead, which honestly could be the case because they do have a strong defensive core, and obviously their goaltending has been simulating well. So we could get goalied, or maybe our offense will continue on its pace from the last round. I don't think it's going to score as much as it did against Columbus, because obviously it was really, really good against Columbus. But if we have strong defensive games as well, like Ottawa, we could still win games like 2-1, 3-2, that type of thing, and I'll be okay with it. We don't necessarily need to dominate a team 9-2 like we did against Columbus in Game 1. So I do feel like our team still could obviously score a lot of goals, but obviously if Ottawa plays to their strength, that could be very deadly for us. So also, whoever wins this game, or the series, not this game, will face either Colorado or LA for the Stanley Cup, which is kind of interesting because Colorado, as I mentioned in the last episode, should have our former defenseman and Salma Leinen on it. So if we do get to a Cup Finals against the Avs, we might be facing one of our old former players. But with that said, let's get to the first game of this conference finals and see what we could do here. Ottawa's 8-2 so far, so they've been very good. We are 8-4. We've been also really good as of late. Obviously, that first round, like I said, was a little bit bad, so I'm hoping we don't fall back into that round 1 ways. Hopefully, we continue the momentum from the second round instead. So here we go, home ice advantage, which is nice. Can we use it to our advantage and keep the momentum going? First period, game number 1. 4-0 Ottawa. Oh my goodness. Well, that's not great. Now, I don't know if it'll be like this the entire series, but that's one of the worst starts this team has had since, for sure, the first round of the playoffs, which is not good. 4 goals against on 9 shots. Solovyov is already yanked, which is uncharacteristic of him because he was so good the last round against the Blue Jackets, but this Ottawa Senators team has offense apparently too. We got to watch out for. So Kaminsky opens the scoring, former player of ours, of course. Dawes scores, then Brantzig Nygaard, and then Aubrey scores. These 2 goals were 6 seconds apart. And they were on different goaltenders too, which is the insane thing. 2 of those goals were from almost the exact same area, which is right in the slot. So maybe our defense isn't doing the best job right now, but damn, that's a really, really rough start. So if we want to have a chance to win this game, we need to start clawing back as soon as possible. Like, we need 2 goals back in the second period, at least, if we want to get back into this one. But Letowski is now in net, so that's not great either, because Letowski has been a bit inconsistent when he has played in the lineup this postseason so far. So, can we have a better second period, or are we going to just get completely blown out of the water in Game 1 like we blew out Columbus last series? Not first period, I was saying. Goddamn, I can barely speak. Second period. 5-1. We get on the board, but they were up 5-0. Bergeron scored early to start the second. Koryuk scores a power play goal, but then we just don't get anything afterwards. This is a disaster class of a first game, so I'm hoping that this is kind of an outlier game and that the rest of these games are a lot closer, because obviously if we continue to allow a lot of goals and we aren't scoring a lot of goals, that's going to give an easy time for Ottawa to get to a Stanley Cup Finals. So we're down by 4 goals going into the third. I don't think we're going to come back in this one, but shots are not crazy high. They are outshooting us 23-15, so it's not like they've outshot us 42-15 or something, but we need to have a really strong third period here, or else this is probably one of the worst games we've had this postseason. So let's see what happens. Third period. Penalty kill. Why are we taking penalties, boys? Why are we taking more penalties? We are just not disciplined right now. Holy crap, the refs might be on their side at this point. 3 straight penalty plays for the Sens, and we killed them all off, which is at least good. But we started this game off with a really bad first period, and that's going to be the reason why we lose this game. They get another goal late, too, to make it 6-1, and that is the final. So that is a very tough first game. Bad first period. If we would have had a better, if we would have had a better first, we could have only lost that game by 1 goal. So even though it was a bad game, it was one bad period, I'm going to say. The rest of the periods I'm okay with. So we got to find ways to have a better start to the series, obviously. We can't be having bad first periods where we go down 4-0. We just can't at this stage. So we might have to make some adjustments after game 2, depending on how we play in that next game. But yeah, we can't be allowing 4 goals in the first period from here on out. So Koryuk from Ragnarsson and Haley is our only goal. So Haley did pick up a point in his first game back in the lineup, which is good to see. It wasn't anything pretty, but still. Let's take a look at these plus minuses. Of course, our best players that had a really good round last round absolutely got blown up. So Novoseltsov was like a plus 15 or something going into this round. He was a minus 5 in the first game. Houghton was minus 5. Mackinnon minus 3. Same with Crane and Cialfido. Wow. So our top guys got completely shredded defensively, which is not good. And they didn't even score goals either, so they didn't provide offense. So Loviov allowed 3 goals on 6 shots through 11 minutes and then got yanked. And then Letowski came in and did a better job. But I don't think that it warrants him getting started next round. Or next game, I should say. 3 stars of that game, all their players. Bates the first star. He's the one we need to contain the most on that team. And a well-said second star. Bergeron the third star. I almost feel like making adjustments already, but that's only like our first loss of the series. Now, that is 2 losses in the last 3 games, though, if you think about it. But what do we need to address with this team after a game like that? Do we just rework the top 6 a bit, get Leahy into the top 6? Because obviously maybe missing Bjorkstrand's a bit of an issue. I'm not too sure. But this line wasn't minus last game, were they? Like, I think the second line was actually okay last game, if I'm not mistaken. Because if we look at game logs here, yeah, see, Haley wasn't minus. How about, like, Giordano and Ragnarsson? How were they last game in terms of plus minus? -1 from Giordano. That's not terrible. Ragnarsson was even 0 as well. So, yeah, that second line was not a bad line for us. It was that first line, the third line, and pretty much every other line. And then defensively, this pairing that's usually really good was not very good. I think we're going to still keep the team the exact same as last game, but it is on high alert that we might need to make some adjustments. So for now, we're going to keep it the same. If it has another bad result, especially in the first period of next game, then we might have to rework the lines again. But for right now, let's just keep it the same. Because maybe that was just one bad period that we're going to have, and maybe we're going to find a way to respond this next game. So could be wishful thinking, but let's see if we have a good game 2. If we have a good game 2, then we just need to find a way to win at least one game in Ottawa, and then we could be back to square one again. So let's see what happens here. Game number 2, as we are still on home ice. Can we have a better start to this game and also win a game on home ice here in this conference finals? First period, game 2. 2-0 us. Okay, that's a good start. Bigris with both goals. Love to see it. So that's definitely a better start than last game. And technically, like I said, the last game, we lost that game because of the first period. Every period since then has been a lot better. Because even though we did technically allow a goal in the second period last game In the third period of the last game, we allowed a goal. It's been much better defensively, and now we're also starting to find ways to score some goals too. So I don't mind how we've been starting off this series except for game one. Game one's first period. That's basically it. But really good start for Big Risk. Those goals were 10 seconds apart too. Damn, I didn't even realize that till now. So shout out to Big Risk, who is doing a really good job this postseason for us. Can we hold this lead in the second period? Hopefully it's not one of these games where you go up 2-0 and then they respond with 2 goals in the second. So let's play good defensively, and let's see if we could rout them for routing us in game one. Second period. Still 2-0. I'll take that. I'll take that. We don't need to win games 5-0 or something like that. That's a very good defensive period. Love to see it. Our team's been definitely a lot better defensively since that first. And Solovyov is definitely making up for his first period mistakes of last game. Shots are 22-16 in favor of us. Let's see if we could just lock this game down in the third period. Maybe get one more goal just to play it safe. Third period underway. Come on, boys. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. Almost halfway through the period. Still 2-0. Penalty kill. Nicely done, penalty killers. Good to see, but they get on the boards. It's Alex Holtz making it a 2-1 game. Fight them off, boys. You got this. I believe in you. Final few minutes here. And a great response in game two. Obviously, it's not the flashiest game in the world. We're not scoring like a crazy ton like we did in the second round. But that is a good response win. 2-1. We got outshot 30-29. So Solovyov finds his game again. Our defensive play goes back to being good. And we don't need to necessarily, like I said, score a ton of goals against the Sens. But that's definitely a really good response after a bad first game. So Big Risk with both goals. The first one was from Leahy. The second one was from Novoselicev. And as I said, both those goals were 10 seconds apart. And they're literally 3 minutes into the game. So our offense has been quite quiet to start this round. But it's also been at least winning games too, so that's not the worst case scenario. So Big Risk the first star, 2 goals and 5 hits. Solovyov gets second star, Wallstead the third star. So great response, like I said, from Solovyov. That's kind of what I need from him. Obviously last game was kind of an outlier game, but he has been very good for the most part the last while. He wasn't good in game 4 against the Blue Jackets, but he was really good in these 2 wins in a row. He was really good here. Here he was dreadful. And in here, he was good. So, a little bit more inconsistent as of late, but he still has been one of the best goalies probably in the playoffs that's still remaining. So, I think we got to keep the team the same after a win like that. Let's see if we could win 2 in a row, or is it going to be back and forth all the way to Game 7 or something like that? Well, let's see what happens. Game 3 in Ottawa. Can we take a 2-1 series lead? We do need to take at least one of their games if possible, just so that way we don't go down 3-1. First period, Game 3. 1-0 Sens, not terrible. We are being outshot 13-10, and it was a late goal that we gave up to by Bates, so that's not ideal by the defense, but definitely an okay first period from Solovyov, but the betraying kind of sucks. Can we find a way to potentially tie this game up in the second, or at least keep it close that we don't end up having to bury ourselves out of a deep hole in the third? Can we find a way to get that next one? Second period. 1-1. Okay, we do tie it up. Like I said, our offense hasn't been super good in this round, but it has been scoring enough that it's able to win games. So there's a chance we could still win this game in the third period. It is tied. Shots are 27-22 in favor of the Sens as Crane has our goal. Of course, it's our captain. Can we find a way to get our first lead of the night? And also our first lead of the series, potentially, for that matter. Let's see what happens. Third period underway. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. I know Houghton or somebody has a goal in them. They haven't scored in a while. Brank Clark scores for the Sens to make it 2-1. We have a power play. But we do answer. It's Crane again. So the captain has come through with 2 big goals here in Game 3. Love to see it. Penalty kill. You got to stop taking penalties, boys. Power play for us late in the game. We don't score on that one. But we do get some chances on it. And we will be going to overtime in Game 3 with the goals 2-2. I think I should probably jump into this because I know some of you guys have mentioned in the past that you would like to see more of these playoff games and jumping into them. We're only 20 minutes into this recording. It is only Game 3, but this is still a pivotal part for the series. So, you know what? Let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. It's not going to clinch the series, but it is still an important game. Whoever wins this game will take a 2-1 series lead. So, we'll jump on in, and we'll try and jump into more of these games from here on out, if they're like an overtime scenario, just because we're in a conference finals. Because if we were in round 1, it probably wouldn't be useful. But since we're in a conference finals, we might as well jump on in here. Let me just make sure I have the music still turned off, because I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay, good. All right, let's see if we can find a way to get a win here on the road and take that series lead. Howden and Makinen are only guys with gold X factors on the roster right now, apparently. All right, Makinen versus Sugihara on the face-off dot. Makinen wins the draw. Novoseltsev to Crane, who is on hat-trick watch to start off overtime. Which is kind of crazy. Here is Bates, their best player. We take it away. Novoseltsev finds Cialfido. The pending RFA can't get in. Bergeron with it for the Sens. He'll dump it. Who knows how long this overtime is going to go to. It could go to double overtime potentially. Cialfido makes a great move. Finds Crane. Over to Makinen. Cialfido, a shot that's turned away. Crane can't corral the rebound. He finds Houghton, and that shot is blocked by Bates. Good little chance there for the boys. Novoseltsev will dump it back in. I like the forecheck to start off this overtime. Bates with it again for the Sens. Finds Branzig, Nygaard. Nygaard shoots, turned away by Solovyov. I don't know why the Sens almost had full pressure there. It looked like they almost did, but they didn't. Bergeron, a shot turned away. Ragnarsson throws it to Houghton. Olli Houghton, the assistant captain. I don't know what that pass was, but he turns it over to Kaminsky. Sawchuk walks in now. Sawchuk can't get the shot through. It's a scramble to the net, and Solovyov will find it. We need to win this face-off. We don't want to give them pressure in overtime, because that's usually not a good way to win games. So Crane's moving up in the point department up to tied for 4th place, which is nice in the playoff hunt. Okay. Kaminsky versus Giordano. Giordano wins that cleanly. Here is Giordano. Finds it up to Tatar. Tatar gets smoked. Yikes. Also, I don't like jumping in fully sometimes because some guys might get injured. So, a lot of big hits going on. Tatar walks in, a shot turned away by Wallstead. A little bit of a physical overtime. There was like 3 big hits in a row for both teams. Alright. Yeah, because Tatar just got blown up right there, and then somebody else got blown up. That was Letowski for them. That might be the relative of our Letowski in the backup net spot. Alright, another face-off. We got Leahy out there against Kaminsky. 2 guys that used to play together, I think, in the AHL, maybe. Tatar to Nielakainen can't get the pass across. It's nice to have our third line out there, though, because our third line is criminally underrated. Smith throws it out front, and big save there on Kaminsky by Solovyov. After a brutal turnover defensively, they almost have full pressure, so this is a must-win face-off here for Leahy. Or else our third line might be in trouble. Come on, Leahy. You got this, bud. Let's see. And he wins it cleanly. Nicely done. Holmstrom throws it to Schaefer. He throws it to Nielakainen. Nielakainen to Bigras. He's been good in the series as well. Bigras walks in. Can't get the shot through. Loose puck in front of the net. Nielakainen finds it, and that's turned away by Wallstead. Good chance in tight. Wallstead found it, though. Good little scrum down below. Good hit. And they get it out of the zone still. Here is Sawchuk. Sawchuk walks in, shoots it, turned away by Solovyov. Kaminsky's got it. They got full pressure, which I don't understand because they was out of the zone for quite a while. And Sawchuk scores after a bad turnover. And unfortunately, we jump into an overtime to see our team lose. And the Ottawa Senators will take a 2-1 series lead. That was a brutal turnover. I don't know why they got full pressure out of that. Like, their pressure thing should probably go away, but it immediately, as soon as they enter the zone, they end up getting full pressure. Which is kind of dumb. Like, after one shot on goal in the last little while. And then they get full pressure, and then this is just a scramble in front of the net. Good stick there, though, by whoever this is on Smith, but then Holmstrom is this? No, that's Bigras. Bigras ends up losing control of it because of a stick lift by Kaminsky. I don't know if that's how that's not an interference penalty almost. But then Sawchuk just finds it, and it just goes glove hand on Solovyov. That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. That's a game that I thought our team could have maybe found a way to win because we started off overtime decently. But Crane scores our only 2 goals, one from Tatar and Cialfido. Other one is Cialfido and Makinen on the assist. So that sucks, man. But the Ottawa Senators have taken the series lead. Another close game, so at least this series is starting to be a bit more close than it was in game 1. But now we got to find a way to win this next game, or else we got to win 3 straight, which is doable with the quality of our roster, I think. But it is also kind of tough to do. So let's maybe make some adjustments already, just to try and see if we could change things up a little bit. I've liked the way our top line's played the last little bit. Haley still in that top 6 hasn't done enough for me to keep him up there, so we are going to move Ragnarsson over to the left side again. Niilakainen's going to go into the top 6 because he's been our best goal scorer so far, one of the best goal scorers on this team. Ooh, but also Bigris has been good for that matter, but Bigris is a left wing, right wing as well. You know what? Let me take a look at the stats the last few games here. How has Niilakainen done against the Sens? No goals so far. Bigris, on the other hand, has been good. You know what? We're going to actually put Bigris onto that second line because Bigris has been scoring goals against the Sens. So we are going to go with something like this instead. Haley, Leahy, Niilakainen. Bigris will get a chance to play with Ragnarsson and Giordano. And the top line will stay the same. We are also going to make another adjustment, which is probably taking Sundin out of the lineup. And we will throw Ulanov in, because Ulanov hasn't played in a bit. And we'll go something like that. From a defensive standpoint, we'll probably go Tatar and Houghton again. And we'll go Novoseltsev down on that second pairing with Haken. And goaltending, it will stay the same. So a lot of adjustments, but maybe adjustments that could help us out a lot. Also, literally anybody that was on that third line, I think, could have moved up to that second line, but might as well give Bigris a chance considering he's been probably the best of the three as of late because he's had that 2-goal game. He has been bad defensively on that third line a little bit as of late too, so maybe the change of scenery will help him out defensively a bit and also help him still provide more goals. So let's go with that. See what it's like having Bigris in the top 6, but this team needs to find a way to win this game. And if we do win this game, maybe it is going to be back and forth till Game 7. If we lose this game, it's going to be a really tough hill to climb, but we definitely can still do it. I just don't have as much faith in the team as I do right now. So let's see if we can tie the series up at 2 apiece. Headed back home if possible. Come on, boys. Let's get off to a good start again and play good defensively if possible. First period, Game 4. Scoreless. I'll take it, but our offense still, like I said, has been wildly quiet. I know that Saturn Talka said we're going to get goalied. I don't think we've been fully goalied in this round, but definitely not scoring as much goals as we did against the Blue Jackets, which is kind of concerning. Shots are 11-5 in favor of our team, so we are outplaying them, but we have no goals so far. Can we find a way to get a goal in the second period, at least give us the lead or something like that? Because this could be the type of game that we do get goalied in if we continue to get a lot of shots and no goals. Second period. 2-0 Islanders. There's a great second period. Goals from Haley and Leahy. Let's go. All right. So Haley gets a power play goal after getting moved down to the third line, but that's good to see. And Leahy scores a goal. So that third line still continues to get points, even without our normal standard lineup, which has Bigris on that line usually. So that's a very good second period. Shots are 26-14 in favor of us. Let's see if we could lock this game down in the third period and tie the series back up again. Let's see what happens. Third period. Come on, boys. Aubrey scores immediately to start the third, but we answer right back. Less than a minute later, it's Ragnarsson on the power play. Power play is starting to come alive a little bit as of late too, which is good. Because obviously if your special teams are doing good, that'll definitely help your goal scoring a lot. Jarvis makes it 4-1. Niilakainen makes it 5-1. We're finding our offensive game here in this third period. And we will be tying the series up at 2 apiece, which means it's going to be a best of 3 to see who gets to the Cup Finals. That's a very good game for our team. Another good defensive effort as well. So if we didn't lose last game in overtime, we could have been up 3-1 at this point. But at least it's a tie series and we're not trailing 3-1. So Leahy from Haley, Haley from Holmstrom and Korolyuk, Ragnarsson from Giordano and Holmstrom, Jarvis from Korolyuk and Ulanov, Niilakainen from Novoseltsev and Leahy. So Ulanov picks up a point in his first game back in the lineup. And then we had a lot of guys on 2 points in that one. Good to see. Like, our top guys didn't have to do much in that game whatsoever. Houghton's been so quiet as of late, too. Like, I hope that he gets going a little bit, because obviously he's one of the best defensemen I've ever had in a franchise mode, I think, at this point. So, and a 960 save percentage from Solovyov. So he's been a little bit inconsistent here as of late, but he is still having some really good efforts. He gets 3rd star, Leahy 2nd star, and Haley the first star of the game. So Haley coming up big with Bjorkstrand being out due to injury, which is good. All right. So We've been playing a lot better defensively since game 1, which is good, but now it becomes a best of 3. Whoever wins the next 2 games first will find themselves in the Cup Finals. The Western Conference Finals is also tied at 2, so easily both these series could go to 7 games potentially at this rate. Let's keep the team this exact same, I think, for this next game. I think our team has been better as of late, so I don't think there are as much adjustments as I could make, but I think we're going to go into this game with the same roster on paper and see if we could take our first lead of the series, because so far we have not had the lead in the series as we've always been trailing. So is this the time where our team could win 2 straight games, maybe eliminate the Sens, or win this next game, lose the next game, and then win in Game 7? Hard to say. But let's see if we could find our first series lead and our second win on home ice. We haven't been as good on home ice against the Sens so far. I think they were a really good road team if I remember right. So let's find a way to beat them here and take that series lead. Come on, boys. You got this. Just ride the momentum from the third period of last game. First period, Game 5. Scoreless again, I'll take it. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, it's not great necessarily not scoring goals in the first period, but we did have a really good third period last game, so as long as we could start to put it together late in games too, it's not really a huge issue on this roster at the moment. So shots are 10-7, pretty even game. Let's see if we could break the deadlock in the second period. Last time we had a really good second period, so can we do it again? Second period. 1-0 us. Okay, that's good. That is good. Ragnarsson opens the scoring, so Ragnarsson's starting to come alive a bit, which is good. Like I said, there has been some guys that have been a little bit under-assimilating, but some guys are starting to come through here a bit in this conference finals. Shots are 22-18 in favor of us. It's only a 1-0 game, so we got to be careful here in this third period and find a way to get some insurance if we possibly can. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we could lock this game down and take our first lead of the series. Come on, boys. Third period underway. Next goal is going to be a big one regardless of who it's for, and the Sens tied up. It's that guy Sawchuk again. Sawchuks are annoying as hell in franchise mode. Just ask my Albuquerque aliens with Sawchuk from San Jose. Penalty kill late in this third period. It's a long penalty kill. I don't know who took that penalty, but we do kill it off, which is absolutely huge at this stage. And we will be going to another overtime in the series. Winner will take a 3-2 series lead and have a chance to close out the series next game. So we definitely will be jumping into this one because this is a absolutely crucial game. Both teams have even shots and goals in this one too. So this is literally anybody's game going into this one. The question is, who wants it more? Who wants it more? You'd think our team should be hungry with all the conference finals and stuff we've been to, but you never know. All right, let's hop on into this. See if we could get better results than the last overtime we jumped into. See if we could find a way to get that game winner. Come on, guys. We technically are the better team on paper in terms of goalies, defense, and offense. So we should be able to find a way to win here, but you never know. Mackin at the draw again against Sugihara as we're on home ice at least for this overtime. Can we find a way to win this one? A scrum for the puck. Sealfito finds it. He finds Mackinnon. Mackinnon can't get by. Here is Bates. Get away, guys. That's the most dangerous player on that team. Bates walks in with it. Throws it to Brandsick. Nygaard can't get by Houghton. He finds it to Mackinnon. The two Finns. Mackinnon makes a move. Can't get by Aubrey. Aubrey throws it all the way up. Here is Bates again. Nice stick there by Tatar, I think that was. Here is Mackinnon. Throws it all the way over to Sealfito on the opposite wing. He got in and it's maybe going to be offside. No, it's not. Houghton pushed it back in. Bates throws it over. It's turned over to Mackinnon. He'll just backtrack a little bit because he would have got hit as Houghton got destroyed. Here comes Crane. Crane can't get the shot through. Bates threw a pass up trying to hit a breakaway, but Giordano read that perfectly. Here is Haken. Haken throws it to an open wing. Tatar gets to it, finds Ragnarsson, who's been picking it up as of late. He finds Giordano. Giordano can't get by. This is like a neutral zone trap right now for both teams. Nobody's gotten a shot to start this overtime. Haken throws it to Ragnarsson. Ragnarsson. Goal tonight already. Throws it to Biggers. Biggers walks in. Can't shoot. Battles for the puck. Can't get to it. Kaminsky throws it all the way over to Sawchuk. That wasn't offside, but very close to it. Aubrey a shot that goes wide. Nobody still has a shot in this overtime period, and we're 6 minutes into it. Ragnarsson makes a move. Ragnarsson can't get the pass through. Giordano just tries to snap it on net. Can't get it to the net. I'm surprised nobody has a shot in this overtime right now. Bigris over to Holmstrom. Holmstrom walks in, shoots. That is on net, and that's turned away. Maybe that's why this game is so low scoring right now, is just both teams have just been trapping each other up. Nice forecheck there, but I don't know who that was, but they do still maintain possession. Heiberg throws it over. Nice pick off by Holmstrom. He finds Haley. Haley can't get by. Haley with it again. He finds Leahy. That's a bit of a tongue twister saying Haley and Leahy, but is what it is. Here is Salo. The former Islanders pick can't get by. Leahy with it again. He'll carry it into the offensive zone. Only one shot so far in this overtime for both teams combined. Petrovitsky can't get it. It's battle down low, and it's now with Heiberg. He finds Letowski. Letowski with it for the Sens. Gets in. Letowski shoots. Turned away by Solovyov, as that's the first shot the Sens have had in this overtime period, as there's a big hit there. Nielikainen finds it. He gives it to Leahy. Leahy's got room. He's got a man going to the net too. He can't find it to him. That's unfortunate because Haley was all alone. Dawes with it now. Turned over. Nice pick by Cialfido. He finds Crane. Leahy steals it. Oh my goodness. This is such a old school type of game with the amount of neutral zone play. Like barely any shots in this overtime here, and we're like 13 minutes into it. Here is Dawes again for the Sens. Get away, guys. Get away, please. There's a pass to Holtz. Holtz a shot. It bounced off a stick and literally almost went in. A big save there from Solovyov. Here comes Ulanov. Ulanov will dump it in. So the Sens have 2 shots. We have 1 shot in this overtime. This is one of the fastest overtimes I've seen. There's not been a single whistle so far in this overtime. I'm pretty sure at least. Here is Ulanov finding Crane. Crane the captain. Newest captain on the team. He walks in, throws it over. Cialfido finds it over to Ulanov. He shoots in. Wallstead makes a big save as we do get our second shot. Almost 15 minutes into this overtime period. This has been a weird game. Was expecting a lot more chances on net, but both teams have been defending very well in this game. It's going to take a massive break for somebody to score. Mäkinen at the draw again. He wins it cleanly. Finds Novoseltsev. It's off a body to the net. Wallstead finds it. That counts as a shot on goal, which I would argue it shouldn't, but is what it is. Here comes Bates. Throws it over. Nice stick there by Haken, the youngster. He finds Crane. To Cialfido, who can't get by. Brandzeg Nygaard walks in now with it. Get away. Nice save by Solovyov. Haken. Okay, now the offense is starting to open up a little bit here for both teams. Mäkinen can't get by. Cialfido finds it to Crane, who is dead tired. He can't get by. The captain turns it over. Brandzeg Nygaard to Bates. Bates throws it over. Good defensive play by Cialfido. Might have saved a cross-crease pass for a goal. That's a good play, and then Solovyov froze it. This is a weird game. Very weird game. We have our second line out there. Biggers, Giordano, and Ragnarsson. Giordano versus Sugihara. Can he win this draw? Yes, he can. Haken. He can't get it out of the zone. The youngster turns it over. Pass. Nice recovery. And then he got decked again. Weird shift there for Haken. Bates with it now. We need a good defensive play here. Bates walks in. Throws it over. Nice defensive recovery. And it goes in. What the hell is this game? Okay, that's definitely the weirdest break ever, and the Sens have taken a 3-2 series lead, which means we need to win 2 straight or else the Sens are going to the Cup Finals. That's one of the most baloney-esque goals I have seen in an overtime, and I've seen a lot of bogus crap in this game. Well, we knew it wasn't going to be a pretty goal that ends this game, but this is one of the worst goals I've ever seen in an overtime. Bates throws it over. Sugihara can't get the shot towards the net because of a good stick there by Ragnarsson. So shout out to Ragnarsson for making a good defensive play there. But this puck comes right here. Ragnarsson then makes a bad play here, pulling it back onto net. Solovyov can't find a way to freeze this. And it just bobbles around so awkwardly. Like off the skate of Ragnarsson. Solovyov does not see it. And this somehow finds a way in. So it's off the skate of Ragnarsson right there. And goes in. That's a bit strange of a goal, man. That's one of the most bogus plays I've seen. Like, if you look at this at full speed, this is absolutely atrocious. Like, if you go a little bit faster, like, this just goes like that. Boom. Like, I don't even know, man. That's one of the worst goals I've seen. One of the worst goals I've seen. So we've lost 2 overtimes in the series, which is not good. And like I said, the shots in that overtime are literally 3-3. And that was that late of a goal against. Man. We need to find a way to win 2 straight games. I mean, it is doable because it's been back and forth so far this series, but I am a bit skeptical with how our team's been in these overtimes. Ragnarsson from Giordano and Solovyov is our only goal. So Solovyov picked up an assist on the only goal we had too, which is interesting, but poor Ragnarsson. That's I'm not going to put that on him. I'm saying that's EA voodoo at its finest. At its finest. We got to find a way to win 2 straight games, including a road game in Ottawa. This has been such a weird series, this one. If only we would have found a way to win one of these overtime games, we could easily be in the Cup Finals already, but not the case. Do I want to make any adjustments after a game like that? I felt like that's another game we should have probably won, but we didn't. Trying to think of what we want to do to get this team winning another game. Let's see. Bjorkstrand's almost back to being fully healthy, which is good, but I'm not going to put him in just because I don't want to lose him for the rest of the playoffs. We are going to move Nielikainen into the second line, I think. Yeah, we're going to move Nielikainen into the second line. Bigris is going to be on the third line. Aside from that, Howden's been very quiet as of late, too, offensively. Like, he's only got 9 points in this playoff run compared to last year. Has not had a point since the Columbus series. I need to get him going a bit. Let's go back to Novoseltsov and Houghton. I don't really know exactly. Power play. That's got to stay the same, probably. I'm just not too sure what this team needs in terms of adjustments here. Haley is the center on the power play on this unit. Is not what I had in mind, really. Is Leahy not on the power play? Leahy's not on the power play. That's kind of strange. I didn't realize he was not on the power play. Let's get him down the middle on that second unit with Bjorkstrand being out. We got to make some sort of an adjustment at least. Oh, boy. There is people we could call up from the AHL too, hypothetically, like a Zaynov, Shenko, stuff like that, but I don't really want to reach into the AHL too much. Komatov, Schultz. Yeah, I think we got to just go with this and hope that we can find a way to win. Yeah, maybe I get Sundin back in. I'm not too sure. How's Jarvis been so far? 4 goals plus 2. Ulanov has 3 points plus 1. You know, I'm going to take Ulanov back out. I just think we need to go with Jarvis on that right side. And we are going to put Sundin back in. Just for some sort of an adjustment. Like I said, I could put Bjorkstrand in already, but I just don't know if he's going to stay healthy or not. So I'd prefer to wait. And I know it's a bit of a risk, but he could still be back for potentially next round. So we are going to keep the team the same for the most part, other than those line adjustments. Solovyov's rocking a 930. He's been brilliant. Wallsted's rocking a 933, though. Comes down to this. If we could force a Game 7, maybe we do have a chance to win the series. If we lose this game, obviously, then that's going to be unfortunate. Because our team, I feel like, has just been snake-bitten every single year. Like, losing in the conference finals for the 3rd consecutive year would really suck. So, we lost, let go of Frondell last offseason, and we're still in the conference finals. So, something has to give. Something has to give this year. So, let's see what happens. Game 6, real-time simulation. Can we force a Game 7 back on home ice? Can we do it? Just got to find a way to win each period at a time and close this game out, potentially. Come on, boys. Can we find a way to win this one? Penalty kill to start off this game. We killed it off. Nicely done, penalty killers. We do got to be a bit more disciplined. I feel like we've been taking a lot of penalties in the series. We do open the scoring, and it's bigger. It's nice to see, but they answer right back less than a minute later. Of course they do. But good to see Biggers back on the board again. And it's going to be a 13-12 shot advantage after 1. So literally very even first period again, just like last game. I feel like this is a pretty even series for the most part, except for game 1. So let's have a good second period here, because this could be the deciding period for the entire series potentially. So let's have a good second period. Come on, boys. Let's get that lead back. I know, Nielakainen, you have some goals in you, too. Cialfito, okay, you have some goals, too. Power play goal gives us a 2-1 lead. And we do kill off another penalty. Nicely done. Can we get some insurance, though? Penalty kill, and Sugihara scores to tie it up. Yeah, we've been giving them way too many power plays this game, too. And we do get the lead right back. Apparently, we had a power play, too. Because Crane scores to give us the lead going into the third. Alright, so the power play is coming alive in this game, which is good. Shots are still relatively even. Goals are still really even. It's anybody's game going into the third period. If we could find a way to get some insurance, I could at least breathe a little bit easier that we're going to be maybe going to a game 7. So let's have a good third period here, guys, and extend the season for another game at least. Let's see what happens. Third period. Come on. Yes, Nova Seltsev. That's a big goal to start off the third. Less than a minute in. Makes it a 4-2 game. Can we get some more insurance? Penalty kill here in the third period. We killed it off. Nicely done. At least our penalty kill's been good for the most part. We did give up one power play goal, but it's been good. Final few minutes here. Still up by a pair of goals. And your New York Islanders are going to force a Game 7 back on home ice. As Haken got an empty net goal. So, pretty even game, but that's a big step up game again from Slovyov. He makes 36 saves in that victory, and our offense found itself. We go to a Game 7. Winner will face off in the Cup Finals. Biggers from Schaefer and Haley. We had Cialfito from Crane and Giordano. Crane with that late goal, absolutely huge by the captain from Makinen and Giordano. Novoseltsev from Giordano and Cialfito. And Haken from Crane and Cialfito. So the big guys stepped up at the big time, and that's absolutely huge. Cialfito, Giordano, and Crane all with 3 points. Haley picking up a point. Makinen, Haken, Novoseltsev, Schaefer, and Bigris. And from a goaltending perspective, Slovyov has still been on his game. Nicely done. 3 stars in that one, Cialfito, Crane, and Slovyov. Alright, so we go to a Game 7. Winner take all. Winner will go to... Oh my goodness, no. Okay, at least it's not long term. He could be back for the Cup Finals too if we get there. But we will be missing Pekka Nielakainen for the beginning of the Stanley Cup Finals, which sucks because he's been really good this season, at least in the playoffs. He's been injured with injured ribs. So that means if we go replace player, that's literally going to put Ulanov in his spot, I think, which is not really that bad, to be honest. But it does suck to be without Nielakainen for a little bit. At least Bjorkstrand's also going to be back soon. So that's not too bad. They did put Bjorkstrand in, but I'm not risking Bjorkstrand getting injured again, even if it is Game 7. Because I think he, regardless, would get injured. So I'm going to take him out. We're going to put Ulanov in. And yeah, we'll leave Ulanov in the top 6. I don't think it's a bad idea. Bigris has been really good, but Ulanov might be better suited for up there because he's got pretty bad defensive awareness. So, yeah, I think that's what we'll rock with. But it does suck that the injuries are kind of hitting us at the worst time possible. But at least Bjorkstrand should be back for the Cup Finals if we get there. Nielakainen will be back as well during the Cup Finals if we get there as well. So we just got to hope that the guys that are usually healthy scratches step up. Like hopefully guys like Haley, Sundin, Ulanov all provide something for us this game. Because that would be absolutely huge. But it's been back and forth this series. No team has won 2 games in a row at this point. I got to keep it the same for the most part. See if we could close out the Sens. And it would be the LA Kings if we do get to a Cup Finals. So unfortunately for Sal Malainen, he gets knocked out in the conference finals with Colorado. But he had a good little run this season. I don't know if there's any former players of ours on the Kings. So I really do hope we get to a final so I could kind of see their roster and see if we're going up against anybody I haven't seen in a while. Now, I'm pretty sure the LA Kings have some good goalies, if I remember right, in this series, but I can't remember. So we'll definitely take a look at that if we do get there. But the question is, can we win Game 7 and win 2 in a row and get back to that Stanley Cup Finals again? The last time we were in the Stanley Cup Finals, I think, was probably 5 seasons ago, I think. It's been a while. So let's do a real-time simulation for Game 7. Can we win 2 in a row and provide another good offensive game? Because we've had some pretty good offensive games against the Sens so far, but we've also had some pretty low-scoring games, too, that were a lot closer. So this is either going to be a game that is 2-1 final, 3-2 final, or it could be completely reverse that and be more of an outlier game. So let's see what happens. See if we can get ourselves to that Stanley Cup Finals this season. Come on, boys. Real-time sim. We're on home ice. We got to win for our fans. We got to win for the boys. Let's get her done. Penalty kill to start off Game 7, and we killed it off. And we do score first. Tatar opens the scoring. Nicely done, Tatar. I like that. Not Thomas Tatar, but still Tatar. That old meme from a few years back. That's a big goal after that penalty kill, so I like to see that. And it's going to be 1-0 for us after the first period. A little bit of a low shooting first period for both teams. Only 8-6 in favor of them, so not a lot going on so far. We do have the 1-0 lead, though, so let's have a good defensive second period, get some insurance, and make it a little bit easier for us come the rest of this game. Second period underway. Come on, guys. Let's get that next one. Let's get that next one. Shots are still pretty low shooting at this point, but we are starting to get a lot of chances here in this period. Power play for us. We do not score on it. But we are starting to get some decent shots in this period. Bates ties the game up at 1. That sucks because I feel like we've been outplaying him a little bit in this period. Oh no, and McDonough makes it 2-1 Sens. 2 late goals against by Solovyov. We are trailing going into the third. This episode's already at 52 minutes. We're down by a goal. Going into the third, we're jumping in and seeing if we could extend the season. We need a big outcome here in this third period. We need 2 goals to win, maybe. Or we need 1 goal at least to get it to an overtime scenario. So we're definitely jumping into this because this could be a really big game. Our big period. It could also be a period where maybe nothing happens for us. But let's see if we could find a way to win this period and win this game and get to the next round. Come on, guys. Let's jump in. Let's jump on in. This episode might end up being a little bit long because we've jumped into a couple of games, but I honestly don't really care at this stage. We're trying to find a way to win a Stanley Cup, and I do want to see some pretty big goals if our team has it in them. So, Makinen versus Sugihara again on the face-off dot, and it's Sugihara winning that one. Let's not allow them to score any more goals, and let's find a way to get that next one. Houghton, who's been pretty quiet still, kicks it around. Here is Crane, finds Makinen. Makinen to Cialfito. Cialfito walks in, finds Makinen. Makinen back to Cialfito. That shot is turned away by Wallstead. Good chance in tight. Here is Bates. Bates walks in, shoots. Big save by Solovyov. That was a rocket of a shot. Oh boy, come on, Houghton. You got to get stuff going, buddy. You got to get stuff going. So Crane has now moved up for a tie for second place in playoff points right now. Oh my goodness, my voice is trying to die on me like crazy. Not the time, voice, not the time. Novoseltsev finds Houghton. Over to Crane. Crane will just dump it in and chase it a little bit. Hopefully we could get maybe a power play in this period to try and equalize this game up. Branzig Nygaard with it. Throws it over to Bates. Bates walks in. Nice poke check there. Makinen now. Makinen makes a good move. He's got room. He walks it over. Crane a chance, and that's just barely turned away by Wallstead. Great chance there for the captain. Crane still battling down low. Can't get by Aubrey, though. Aubrey throws it all the way up to Sawchuk. He finds Smith. Good poke check by Houghton. Houghton gets it up the boards. Kaminsky held it in. Nice hit by Ragnarsson. It's now with Ulanov, who drops to Novoseltsev. Novoseltsev all the way over to Giordano. He finds Ulanov. Ulanov a chance, and that's turned up by Wallstead. We almost have full pressure. If we could win the face-off here in this offensive zone, that might give us a chance to tie this game up here. So, got to win this draw. We do have Giordano against McDonough, who has the difference maker right now. Is this McDonough's first game? Because I feel like I haven't seen him. I'm not even too sure. McDonough wins a draw. Salo throws it over to Petrovitsky, and they are going to escape their zone. That's unfortunate. Hopefully we could still get full pressure like they did after one shot on goal a couple games ago. Tatar to Haken. Here is Giordano. Giordano throws it over. That's a bad pass. That just didn't get through. But we do follow it up with some good play to keep it in that neutral zone. Haken's got to get back here. Time's going off the clock relatively quick. We're almost halfway through this third period. Giordano gets stood up. Here's Petrovitsky to Salo. Salo with it. Finds Petrovitsky. He shoots, blocked by Haken. Come on, Haken, get it out. Nice kick there. He finds Giordano. Giordano banks it up. Here is Haley. And now we have to get more shots on goal to get more pressure. Haley walks in, shoots. That's just barely turned away. That might have hit the post. But what a chance that was for Haley. Here comes Salo the other way. Finds McDonough, back to Salo. And Solovyov will not allow the former draft pick to score. Wow. That last chance, I think, might have hit the post, but I honestly don't know because I don't have volume on and I don't have my headphones on either, so I honestly have no idea if that hit the post or if that was just a big save by their goalie. I feel like if it was a big save by their goalie, they would have actually showed the replay, though, but maybe not. Sugihara wins the draw. Salo throws it to Clark. Clark is shot, deflected on net. Big save by Solovyov. They almost have full pressure. We need to get it out of our zone, boys. This is a crucial stage of the game. We're like 10 minutes into this third period. We do not want them getting another one. So Leahy at the draw with Haley and Biggers on his wings. Can he win it? No, he can't. They get full pressure. Here's Dawes with a chance. Solovyov makes the save. Get it out. Get out. We want to escape this pressure. There we go. Holmstrom to Leahy. We do get it out. Haley finds Biggers. Biggers with Haley going to the net. Finds him, and that's turned away by Wallstead. We have full pressure now. Schaefer drops it. Mäkinen. Holmstrom a bomb. That's turned away. Come on, boys. Tie it up. Schaefer. Holmstrom. Bombs it again. That's blocked by Bates. Oh, my God. Bates and a coin. I just realized the Sens have Bates and a coin on their team. And if you guys know the early 2000s New York Islanders, Sean Bates, Adrian Aucoin, that's kind of a weird coincidence. As Wallstead makes another save there off a wing shot. 8 minutes left in this third period. We've been generating some good chances, but we're still down by that goal. We're kind of getting goalied, almost like Sanartaku was saying. Mäkinen against Kaminsky. Mäkinen wins it cleanly. Houghton in a shot, can't get it through. Here is Sawchuk. If we would have only won one of those overtime games, we would have already won the series by now, so it's not great hearing about that. Novoselicev finds Mäkinen. Mäkinen to Crane, the captain. Crane, still with it, throws it over. That almost found a stick. Here is Smith. Dumps it back in. Novoselicev. Nice pass over to Cialfito. He finds Houghton. Houghton with it again, finds it to Crane. Crane walks in. Crane shoots, turned away by Wallstead. Jeez, I can barely speak. But it seems like a back and forth this series has had, though, like very good, like close games, and also some games where teams win like 5-1 or 6-1. So it's been a really weird conference finals at that. Here we go. Giordano versus Kaminsky on the draw. We have a little bit more energy with this line. Giordano wins it. Ulanov throws it to Houghton, over to Novoselicev. A shot through a crowd, deflected on net, and somehow Wallstead saw that. Damn, man, that sucks. That sucks. Nice chance there by Novoselicev. Houghton is hit. Novoselicev finds Giordano. He finds it all the way up. Here is Ragnarsson, who can't get by. Come on, guys. We only have like 4 minutes left still. Sawchuk shoots, turned away by Solovyov. These third periods go by fast when there's no penalties getting called. We've only been like in game for like 5 or 6 minutes. Oh, come on, guys. Win this defensive zone draw for me. Giordano versus McDonough. And McDonough wins it. Ragnarsson stole it, though. Here is Ulanov. Ulanov jumps in, finds Ragnarsson. That shot's blocked by Brandt Clark. Here is Petrovitsky. Hagen will take him off the puck. Giordano can't get by. Petrovitsky somehow holds it in. Shot turned away by Solovyov. Haken throws it to Ragnarsson. He's hit by Clark, who pushes it in offsides. 2:33 left. We might be pulling the goalie here soon, which is not necessarily great for us because the AI still doesn't know how to defend in front of an empty net. So hopefully we have a lot of pressure in the offensive zone when that happens. Petrovitsky gets hit by Schaefer. Here is Schaefer. 2 minutes to go on the clock. Crane, Cialfito. This is the guy which we want out there. Mäkinen finds Crane. A little bit of a broken play, but we get it in. And there's a minute almost left. Good pressure there by Crane on Clark. Can we get possession of the puck so that way we could get the goalie pulled? No, we can't. Bates walks in with it for the Sens as we're in the final minute of play. Holmstrom, good stick. He throws it all the way up to Mäkinen. Mäkinen can't get by. We're not generating enough right now. It's just not good because of the time coming off the clock. Here is a chance now. Cialfito 2-on-2 or 2-on-3. We do pull the goalie. Cialfito to Mäkinen. Mäkinen finds Holmstrom a bomb and Wallstead sees it again. But we do get that empty net now. And we do have an offensive zone face-off. Hopefully we have the right guys out there as they bring out Giordano, Ragnarsson, Ulanov still. And I don't know who the extra attacker is. I can't even tell who it is right now still. Oh, it might be Houghton actually. As the offensive defenseman, that's interesting. Here's a chance in tight. Battling for the puck. Kaminsky. Ragnarsson finds the puck in the slot and he misses the net. Oh, man. And Giordano doses the puck, and that's going towards the empty net, but it's not going to be icing because it was us passing that back. That would have been disastrous, man. Howden with it now. He's playing forward because he's the extra attacker. Howden walks in, finds Ragnarsson behind the back, and Wallstead makes another save. We have 10 seconds exactly on the clock. Oh, man. This is a crazy last few minutes, but man, this sucks, man. We're 10 seconds away from getting eliminated in Game 7 of the conference finals, but 10 seconds away maybe from forcing an overtime if we could score a goal here. Leahy versus McDonough. Leahy wins it. Tatar, a shot that's blocked. Aubrey can't get it out. Now he does. And your New York Islanders are unfortunately going to be getting eliminated in the conference finals for the third consecutive year as the curse continues. We just could not find our offense consistently enough. There's some games that we could have won. Now we only lost by a goal. Like, I think we could have literally won every single game in the series except for Game 1. That's how close it was. But our team, unfortunately, is packing his bags a little bit early again. And we still have no Stanley Cup in the series, which means we need to find a way to get this team that win. Everybody on this roster is signed into next season except for Seal Fido right now. And he's like a pending RFA, so there is some guys in the bottom 6 that might get weaned out of the lineup, but man, that sucks a lot. I thought we would have maybe found a way to tie this game up here late, but Wallstead was just an absolute brick against us in this one. That sucks a lot, dude, because there's some really good chances in the last little bit. Like, not this last face-off, but there was some good chances. Let's see. Like, right here and stuff like that. Like, we had this chance by Ragnarsson. If he looks a little bit more on the glove hand, he could maybe score there. But he goes for the 5-hole shot. That's unfortunate, dude. Damn. So 3 stars in that one. Bates the 3rd star. Of course, their 2 goals late in the second make a difference. If only it was tied going into the 3rd, it would have been a bit more interesting. But McDonough's probably going to get one of the stars as well. Solovyov got 2nd star. He was really good. Again, so it means Wallsted's probably the 1st star then. So Solovyov gave us a chance every single night, but we're going to be going out in the conference finals to a Canadian team for the 3rd consecutive year. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And we opened the scoring in that one, but that end of the second period was a rough way to end it. That sucks. That was Tatar's first goal of the playoffs, apparently, too. Well, that's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. Thought we would have maybe found a way to tie the game up in the 3rd when we jumped in, or maybe we would have found a way to at least get it a little bit closer, like maybe we forced an overtime, but damn. That's a tough way to go. That's a very tough way to go. Let's take a look at our stats anyways from the playoff run, and then we will see the awards and wrap up the season. I know this episode's going to be a little bit extra long, but that's okay. But our player stats, as you can see, if we look at by forwards and all that, Crane was good in this playoff run, 20 points. Seal Fido was really good. Like, I'd say still in general, our team was really good this playoffs, but the luck was not on our side. We got better depth scoring as this series went on, or the playoffs went on. Our plus-minus was good for the most part. That injury to Bjorkstrand, maybe I should have put Bjorkstrand in for Game 7, but I don't really want to risk injuries like that again. Novoseltsev and Houghton both on 9 points, and pluses were good. Houghton was not very good against the Sens. He didn't have a single point, I think, almost in that round. Yeah, he had no points against the Sens. So a bit of a tough time for our top offensive defenseman, but he was still good for the most part. Like, at least he was playing good defensively. Tatar might have been taking too many penalties. That might have been an issue. Because, yeah, he did have 3 fights in the playoffs, so... And from a goaltending perspective, Solovyov rocked a .931. Solovyov has been really good these last 2 years in the playoffs, and he still has no cup to show for it. So I don't think he's to blame whatsoever. I don't really know who is to blame on this team, but that sucks. Maybe that was the injuries that caught up to us, because if Nielakainen played that last game, if we also had Bjorkstrand play that last game, I think we could have easily found a way to win. But we weren't fully healthy near the end, so that sucks. But by far, Tatar was the most aggressive player on the team. So, how long has he signed for? 2 more years. We could still definitely hold on to Tatar, but maybe we want to find somebody that's not going to take as much penalties. I'm not too sure. Not too sure. All right, well, we do have at least some youth injection coming into our lineup next season and all that, but let's find out who ends up winning the Stanley Cup in 2040. Is it the Sens or the Kings? I'll just go best lines because we're not playing at this point anymore. Who is it going to be, Ottawa or LA? The answer is Ottawa, so we did lose to the best team in the NHL at least, but that kind of sucks because I thought we were definitely better on paper. That sucks, man. Let's take a look at the. Let's take a look actually at the player stats for the LA Kings because obviously we know what the Sens were looking like, but I do want to know what was on that LA Kings team if we were to face them. Let's see. Looks like some good young guys. I think I recognize some of these dudes, but there looks like there's no former Islander, which is kind of interesting. What about goalies? Oh, yeah, Kolzig. Yeah, okay, I can understand why they got so far, because Kolzig's been a really good goalie in the series. And Benjamin Menard, I think, was actually pretty good at one point, too. All right, in terms of awards for the season, the Ottawa Senators win the Stanley Cup in 2040. President's Trophy went to the LA Kings, so the LA Kings went far this year despite winning the President's Trophy. Ottawa LA Cup Finals. Connor Bedard, the Art Ross Trophy winner and the Hart winner. Howden wins his 4th straight Norris, so he did win another Norris Trophy. Howden has been absolutely insane, man. This is definitely the best offensive defenseman I think I've already had at this point. Like, he's definitely up there with like guys like Griffin, who I had in my Draft to Glory series a number of years ago. But yeah, Howden's been awesome. Frank Nazar wins the Lady Byng. McMuffin wins the Calder. Bates won the Conn Smythe, not a surprise. He's been a really good player for them. Solovyov did win the Vezina this season, so shout out to Solovyov. I was not expecting him to really win it, I don't think, but he does win the Vezina. So 2 Vezinas in the last 4 years for Solovyov. No Stanley Cup, but he did play good in the playoffs again. Kolzig wins the Jennings. Saline wins the Masterton. Appleby the Adams. Ritchie the Selke. Guerin the Lindsay. And Guerin the Richard. So a couple award winners, which is nice to see. No AHL award winners, which is unfortunate, but it does suck that we get no Stanley Cup, but at least we got some individual hardware. But I do still want to see if I could find a way to get this team a Stanley Cup. I just really don't know what we need. Because Howden has been providing some really good offense from the back end. He's locked up long-term 4 Norris trophies at the age of 30. He could easily win another 4, I think, at this rate. And then from our goaltending perspective now, Solovyov has been playing such good hockey, and he's only signed for 2 more years. He's got 2 Vezina trophies by the age of 32. So he might be on the drop-off soon, which is not great, but there is that. All right, now we got to find out where we're drafting and all that, because we do actually have a lottery pick this year, so that might make up for it if we find a way to move up with that Dallas pick, because we do have that pick from the Frondell deal. So let's see if that ends up being a good pick for us. The answer is no, it's not. It's going to stay at 15th, which is still useful. We could maybe find a good steal there, or we could try and move up if we want to. But we do have the 15th overall selection from that Anton Frondell trade. Okay. Okay, so aside from that, the retirements for the season, we don't have any guys going to probably likely retire because we're a young team. But in terms of the rest of the league, the best player to retire, in terms of offense, Lucas Raymond and Quinn Byfield. Frank Nazar retires after a good season, apparently. All right. Some pretty decent names retiring around the league. A lot of young guys in the current NHL. Oh, Matt Maggio retired. Shout out to Matt Maggio from our original days almost. From a defensive standpoint, the best defenseman retired by a long shot, Quinn Hughes. 1,500 points. Next closest with Korchinski was 650. So that's interesting. So there's all that. Best goalie to retire this year is going to be Dustin Wolf. Awoo, awoo, awoo. And Lucas Dostal's up there too. All right, so those are the retirements. Coach retirements. Did we lose any coaches out of curiosity? I feel like we didn't, right? We do lose Ryder Nash. I don't remember if that was our goalie coach or not, but we do lose a coach. So hopefully that's nobody important too much. Let's go continue simulating. And let's do our last few things before we end this episode. Once again, apologize about the length of the episode. So first and foremost, the contract situation. Our contracts, like I said, we don't really have anybody huge that give out a contract to this offseason except for Seal Fido. He's going to be relatively pricey. I'm not too sure if he's going to want more term once it actually comes to the re-sign stage, but right now he only wants a 1-year deal. Aside from that, Haley, I don't know if Haley comes back. He was decent, but I don't know if he should come back. He's a decent, like, third-line kind of depth scoring guy. He does want to come back, so maybe. Koryuk is still an RFA, so we could definitely hold on to him. Jarvis is a UFA. Sundin's a UFA. Like, I don't know who of these guys are going to come back to this team, but maybe some of them will. Also, the AHL is going to have a lot of new faces next season, as you can see, because Erzberg, who's medium elite, is going to be down there. We also have Nielsen, who is a top 6 forward, is going to be down there. Granato is going to be probably signed. Popov. Like, the AHL should get a huge help for the next season. Nicholas as well. So, those are all the contracts up for renewal. I don't know if we want to bring back Letowski as a backup. It's up to you guys on that. I don't think he's been the best this season, so maybe we let him go. So there is that. Next thing we got to take a look at is the progress reports, and then we'll take a look at the draft class. But in terms of progression on this roster, let's just go by forwards to start off with. Looks like we're getting some statistical growth from some guys. Not really surprised. Gazanov is ready for the NHL, so he should probably be in our lineup, which means letting go of Haley is probably a good idea. So this is the guy we acquired in the Frondell deal from Dallas, so we probably should give him a chance next season. Aside from that, is there anybody else that's ready to maybe make a jump up? Let's see. Actually, let's go to the defense for a second here. Our defensive core is still a bit of an issue, though, because we have a lot of guys listed as top 4s. Everybody's listed as a top 4. So, do we part ways with somebody on this defensive core? It's still a really young defensive core. The oldest guys are Howden and Tatar, and obviously Howden's not going to get dealt. Tatar is one of these guys that maybe could get dealt, but I'm not too sure. I really like how he plays usually with Houghton, so that's a big if. Goalies, it's not really much growth because these guys aren't young. In terms of in the system, though, we do have a lot of good goalie growth. It looks like Komatov's up to a 73. Nicholas is up to a 71, so likely that's going to be our AHL tandem next season, which means I probably do have to let go of a goalie with some potential in the AHL, so Nicholas could come in. From a defensive standpoint, I don't know if we'll bring back Hagman. He was just brought in more as a depth option. He's listed as a top 6 now. Carlton's up to a 75 at 22. That's pretty good. He might end up being an NHL defenseman next season. So, looks like we're getting some good growth in terms of some of these prospects. Like Strombolopoulos is 64. That's not actually that great. Lindsay is 69 at 20 is pretty good. From an offensive standpoint, Ulanov is a 77. I don't really know if I'll hold on to Ulanov. He does have the elite potential, but he's not going to reach it probably. Dempsey is looking really good. He's not AHL eligible yet, but he's a 74 at 19. So he is getting a bit better, which is nice. Good shooting categories. From a left wing perspective, Mishenko is up to a 77. Might be ready for the NHL next year. So he's another guy that could crack the lineup. It looks like we're getting a lot of growth other places too, like I said, with Nielsen and all that. Yeah, we definitely have a log jam of prospects, but it's kind of exciting. So, there is all that. Alright, the final thing we got to take a look at is the draft class. So, draft board-wise, we do have 15th and 30th. And then we have our 2nd, our 3rd, our 4th, 5th. We do not have a 6th rounder. We do have a 7th rounder. So, hypothetically, we could try and move up in the 1st round if we want to. But, let's take a look at what's supposed to go around 15th and 30th. And see if there's anything worth pinning. So, in terms of 15th overall, which we got from the Frondell trade, we are looking at maybe an elite power forward right here. Lazarev, he looks like maybe more of a top 6, but it's tough to say. There's also Trevica, who might go a little bit before. He's maybe a top 6. Actually, Lazarev might go a little bit before our selection, so we might have to move up if we want him. In terms of other people, Moss, not the best. Medium 6 in Peyton Howes. Right wing / center. That's not bad. I'll pin him. Hendrickson is a defensive prospect. I don't think we really need defensive prospects. Kyle Baer doesn't look the best. What about Dupuis? Dupuis looks okay too. I'll pin him. What about Artem Chubarov? Not the former Canuck Artem Chubarov. He looks okay too. Might be a little late. Tough to say. There's also Faust. Not really seeing a crazy steal here right now. But when we start by potential, we'll see if there's any. Is there any crazy steals, maybe? This guy's probably a low lead if he's listed as maybe medium franchise. So we're definitely pinning that dude for a later round pick. We're definitely doing that. But aside from that, is there anybody that could be maybe a crazy steal? No guaranteed medium elites outside of the first round picks. There's a low lead sniper that's supposed to go early second, which we could take with our late first round pick if we keep our selection. Connor Trotter. We'll pin him. What about some of these other guys though, like Rupp? Rupp looks actually pretty decent 2 years out. Alright. So there might be some steals. Easton Woods. That's kind of a funny name because obviously I think of hockey sticks back in the day. Easton and Sherwood. What else we got here? Devin Cleary. And I don't know if this draft class is going to be the best one in the world. But there is a gem here in Grollo. So he's probably a low lead if he's a gem. Maybe a low 6 though. Alright. So not necessarily the best draft class ahead, but at least we have a lot of good prospects. So it's not the end of the world if we don't have a good draft. But this roster is, like I said, pretty much everybody's locked into next season already. So we just need to get Cialfito signed. And then we basically could run it back again next year. But I'm not too sure what this team needs in terms of making us better. Like, I feel like we have a good mix of player types, good mix of players on the roster too. And we're still a very young team. Like, we do have some of our core, like Crane and Houghton, turning 30 now. But we are still a young team-ish. Just, I don't really know what we want to do. We have a lot of cap space too, so we definitely can make some major adjustments, but I'm not too sure if there's anything that we need to majorly address or not. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of New York Islanders Franchise Mode. So, in next episode, we'll take it to the draft and re-sign stage. It's been a frustrating time not winning a Stanley Cup, but I think we'll eventually win one. It's just going to take not running into a Canadian team or something like that. So, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.